Hello, big news this week. We have a new champion of champions for Demolicious, and I will get into that in just a second. But first, I just wanted to check in. It's the holiday season. Things are slowing down a little bit. I would like, at the very top, I would like to encourage you to try and get some downtime while things are quiet. I know when you're working on a startup, you get super excited when things get quiet. You're like, oh, I can get so much done when people aren't bugging me. But it's also a good idea to just spend some time relaxing, looking back on the year, making plans for what you're going to do at the beginning of next year, and just honestly, just taking it easy. Don't think about anything, just relax. Just chill out, take some time, relax, recharge your startup batteries. You deserve it, and I just want to make sure that you get some rest while things are quiet, and then we can get back into it being crazy, exciting hustle in 2026. Okay? Please do that for me. Thank you. Okay, so Demolicious Champion of Champions 2025. 12 companies took the stage. I know you know who they are because I bugged you about them nonstop for several weeks, trying to convince you to show up to Champion of Champions, and a lot of you did, and a lot of you came up and asked for stickers. Thank you very much. It was very nice to hand out stickers to a bunch of you. But what you really want to hear is who won. So let's not delay it anymore. Demolicious Champion of Champions for 2025 is VidiScribe. And what does VidiScribe do, you might ask? Well, it's actually really interesting. So what they do is take video and lay over audio descriptions of what's occurring in the video. So similar to what closed captioning might do with the text version of audio, they do an audio version of the visual. And they do that to ensure that the video is ADA compliant as well as other types of compliance, so that people of all types of sight have the ability to understand what is occurring in a video from a visual perspective. So super interesting. Obviously, AI enables a lot of this, makes a lot of it easier, more efficient, more effective. The pitch from VidiScribe was great. Patrick's got a lot of good energy, and they really brought that to stage. And I think that's part of what made the crowd so excited to vote for them. Voting was pretty evenly split throughout a number of other folks. So it was a good night of pitches, and everybody got quite a few votes from what I saw in the voting categories. But when the dust settled, VidiScribe was the champ and got to walk away with the belt, and also got to take a picture with the champion from last year as well, who showed up with last year's belt. So there's a history in the making kind of thing happening, where now maybe it's a tradition that the former champion always shows up to the Champion of Champions event, and then you get more and more people with belts until eventually, as I said last time, we're going to need a Demolicious Champion of Champions event where the Champion of Champions winners go against one another to see who's the champion. Anyway, congratulations to VidiScribe. Really love their pitch. Really glad the crowd loved it as well. And congratulations on becoming Demolicious Champion of Champions for 2025. Another big local startup story this week, StrateSea, which takes the data from underneath the ocean, like the ocean floor kind of data. Super good description, I realize. Anyway, there are all kinds of devices capturing data about the ocean and the ocean floor and all these kind of things. StrateSea enables them to manipulate that data, to analyze that data, to do something meaningful with the terabytes or petabytes or however many bytes of data we have about what's happening on the geographical floor of the ocean. They have been selected for the NATO DIANA 2026 Challenge Program. What is NATO DIANA? Well, NATO, as you know, is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. DIANA is the Defense Innovation Accelerator for the North Atlantic. And let me give you a description of what DIANA is seeking to do by engaging with all these startups from around the world. DIANA's mission is to find the most innovative companies, help them advance their solutions and grow their business, and get technologies we need into the hands of NATO operators. Over the next year, these innovators will accelerate breakthrough technologies that can help them to transform how the alliance defends against current and emerging threats. So it's both a kind of a defensive thing as well as pursuing innovation. So it's really a global stage, obviously Northern Hemisphere global, but still companies from all over the world are participating in this program, and StrateSea from right here in Portland was selected to participate in the program as well. I'm going to keep an eye on their progress through that program, and obviously if there's a demo day or some exhibition of some sort, I will let you know how they did and share anything that I can. But in the meantime, if you're curious about StrateSea and the work they do and why they would be selected for a program like this, I encourage you to check them out. It's super interesting. It's way more interesting than I described it with my weird layperson's terms of the work they do. But like really, really interesting analysis of huge data sets, specifically that have to do with the ocean. Have you heard of Mercury? Mercury was really designed from the ground up to support not only business banking, but specifically startup banking and making it easier and providing all the features and functions and stuff that startup founders need to do business banking. But then they had the infrastructure. So they're also like, why don't we do personal banking? And they've been testing that for a while. And why am I talking to you about Mercury? Well, because the product lead, the product manager on the consumer product, what do they call it? Mercury Personal Banking, the product manager on that lives right here in Portland. And there's a Mercury presence here, but this was specifically interesting because on the personal banking product, it's now no longer kind of in testing, no longer behind closed doors. It's now general availability. So if you've been looking for a personal banking solution, if you want a personal banking solution that matches with your business solution, not sponsored. Mercury is not sponsoring this. I'm just psyched about what they're doing. Long ago, Portland had one of the very first neobanks called Simple here in town, and they were Pi residents as well. So I got to kind of see the inside and see what they were working on, see what was going on. But so I'm a huge fan of the fintech community here in Portland. It's nice to see a major player like Mercury having a presence here, having a fintech presence here in Portland. And I'm especially happy that a Portland-based product manager got the opportunity to launch a product into general availability. So congrats to Mercury on releasing their personal banking option. Still doing those conversations with founders, trying to release a couple a week, trying to record 3 or 4 a week and, kind of stack them up so that we can get them out and share these stories with you, share the inspiration, share the insights, share the advice, all those kind of things. This week, I talked to Colin Nettercorn of Customer IO, talked to Marty Kagan of Hydraulics, 2 very prominent and important startups here in town that are doing really interesting and amazing things. So I encourage you to listen to those conversations and let them tell you what they're working on so that I don't have to. I think I'm going to lay off those next week because with Christmas being in there, it gets a little quiet. And maybe I'll skip the week between Christmas and New Year's just because I want people to get the attention that they deserve. And the reason I'm having these conversations is to elevate these companies and help people understand the amazing founders we have here in our midst in Oregon. So I want to make sure they have the best chance of being seen. Don't worry, I'll probably come up with some other content to share with you in that short period of time throughout the holiday season, but I probably won't be dropping those interviews, but there are plenty. If you haven't watched any yet, there's a whole playlist of really interesting founders that are going to share thoughts and ideas and inspiration with you. So if that's of interest to you, check out Startup Stories with Silicon Florist. There's a playlist or podcast that you can consume during your downtime on the holiday season. Okay, cool. All right. That's it. Not much news this week, obviously. I said, this is why I don't make predictions, because I was thinking through like previous years, and then I saw this report, and what is this word? It reinforced what I was already thinking, where I was like, oh, they always seem to rush news in the second week of December, try and get a bunch of stuff out before the holidays hit. They try and get all the fundraising done, and then that causes a news spike. And so I was ready, and I thought we'd have a ton of news, and then nothing happened for 2 weeks. I mean, stuff happened, but it wasn't the crazy onslaught that I was expecting. So I'm sorry there wasn't a lot of news, but at least you get shorter episodes of this. I mean, that's a bonus. So no big news. I had some really great, inspiring conversations with a lot of founders this week. And I got a few more next week, when things slow down. Finally, founders' schedules open up a little bit. And so I tend to schedule those pretty far out to get their time, but I'm looking forward to those conversations. And then there's some other stuff that happened. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it. I didn't get any confirmation. There was a private event, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything, so I'm just not going to. But just know that there were some really interesting and important conversations that took place that, should their strategy come to fruition, will have significant impact on the startup community, on the Portland startup community around here. So I'm tracking that with interest and just kind of keeping an eye on it and see what happens. But that was also an opportunity to get to see a lot of people who I don't regularly get the chance to talk to. So that was good. And then, there were a few other conversations, so many conversations. And then, of course, it's flooding. There's that. And on a bit of a sadder note, Ian Williams, who is an alum of the Built Oregon Accelerator Program and a Pitch Black winner, he's the founder of Dead Stock Coffee, and it started in Old Town and now has Dead Stock Dose out in Beaverton. Ian has decided to shut down the Old Town location. But I want to encourage you to show up. December 31st is going to be the last day that Old Town, Dead Stock Old Town, is going to be open. So there'll be a lot of people down there. He's bringing back old baristas to do their last shift. So there'll be a community celebration for 10 years of Dead Stock, and not only what it meant to that location, to that section of town, to that region, to Old Town, but also what Dead Stock meant to our community. Every single time I would go into Dead Stock, I would run into somebody super interesting, somebody I've been meaning to talk to, or somebody who I had been hoping to meet. And it was the kind of place you wanted to hang out just to see who would show up. And we're losing that. It's unfortunate that Ian has been forced to make that decision, but he's probably got other stuff in the plans. Would not surprise me to see Ian reveal something on the 31st, or maybe not too long thereafter. And I'm really curious to see what he does next. I'm a huge fan. Always appreciated the opportunity I got to work with him and work on Dead Stock and continue to chat with him from time to time. And so, yeah, that's just kind of sad. And then I just learned that if you frequent the Oregon coast and spend time in Cannon Beach, I just learned that Sleepy Monk is shutting down their kind of retail storefront there in Cannon Beach. So that's a sad one too. You can still get their coffee. They'll still be roasting, I think. A great coffee, by the way. And again, not sponsored, but Sleepy Monk is really solid. So it's sad to hear that because there was always a line out the door at that place. It's sad that they were not able to continue to make a go of it. Or maybe they just got tired of running the storefront. Anyway, so sad that Dead Stock's going away. Sad that Sleepy Monk is going away. But there will be some presence for both of them. So they're not completely gone. They're just gone from their particular places. Wow. That really went south real quick, didn't it? Happy holidays. Sorry. Let's see if we can pick this back up. Again, like I said at the top, I hope you take some downtime during this holiday season. I hope you spend time with friends and family. I hope you recharge, re-energize. I hope you just maybe read a book or like take some time sitting still and sipping hot cocoa and staring out the window doing absolutely nothing. I hope you have a day without devices. I hope you don't listen to this stupid fucking thing. I hope you ignore my podcast and my videos for weeks. They'll still be there when you get back, so don't worry about it. I want you to take a break. I want you to recharge, and I really just want you to take care of yourself this holiday season because you're important to me. The work you're doing is important. And I really need you coming into 2026 with all your passion and energy and all that kind of thing, because 2026 is going to be an interesting year. Okay. Happiest of holidays. And I love that you're here, and I love that you hang out with me, and I love that Secrets is now becoming longer than the actual episode itself. Until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.